And this is where S3000 is located. S3000, we got a 2-circuit breaker. This one, the left one, is for the control the vacuum, and it should be in the up and running position. And this is for display, and it's supposed to be at the upper position. And if it's not, you can put it in the upper one. This is the main column, and it contains the gun and the condenser, and this is objective aperture. And here, all this stuff is for the specimen stage. It's to manipulate the stage X, Y, Z, and rotate and tilt. And this is need to be very careful before loading and unloading the sample. And all the position here to see, it tells you the specimen exchange position for X, Y, this is for Z, and for the rotation. So you need to check all the position is in the right one for exchange. And another thing you need to be careful is when you rotate those things, try to be gentle, not to apply too much force. It probably would break the stuff. And at the back, you got the vacuum pump, and you don't need to touch them. And it's always keep on to keep the vacuum. And this is the objective. All the stuff you need to open the software. It's a shortcut, PC, SEM. To open this software, double click it. Yeah, and also on the software, you can see the vacuum in blue stage. That means the vacuum is in the high vacuum. It's ready to apply high voltage and to get SEM image. But for now, we need first to load our sample. As I mentioned before, we have to make sure all this stuff, all the rod in the right position for exchange. And if you're not sure about it, just be carefully check all this. It has been, yeah. Here's X, and this is Y, it's marked, and this is Z. And for Z, it needs to be in the exchange. For Y, it needs to be at the position of 20 millimeter. Yes, it's 20. And for X, it needs to be at 30 millimeter. Yeah, that's exactly 30. And for rotation, for rotation, it doesn't matter. For tilting, it needs to be at 0. Now we are going to load our sample. First, go to the vacuum system control switch. Now it's in the evac. That means the system is pumping down. Push the switch up to air. It means the chamber is venting. You see the vacuum. This rod went to red. And wait until all the red bar is disappeared. Wait until the red bar completely disappeared. That means the vacuum is completely vented and it's ready for us to open. And when we're waiting, the vacuum is vented. And just to show you, for the sample stops, it's in this drawer. And we got 2 sample stops. One is for the small samples, less than 15 millimeters. And one stop, this one, is for up to 35 millimeters. And you have to assemble this. You need to be careful with those. assembly, and there's always a manual here. And here it exactly shows how the specimen stub and the holder can be set up. As my specimen is bigger, I'm going to use this bigger sample holder. And I just follow the instruction and assemble it first. And put my sample. The black circle kind of thing, this is the carbon tape. It can glue your sample. So you just put it in and apply a slightly force, then it sticks onto the sample holder. And an important thing is that you need to make sure the height of the sample is, again, you need to follow the instruction here. It shows you for the smaller sample holder which level of the sample need to be, and for the big sample holder which level your sample need to be. And according to that, our sample level need to be at the top of this rod. So now it seems slightly higher. Then I just adjust it by rotate this in a bit. And then now it's in. Now it's in the right level. And then you need to lock this stuff, use the lock nut here is. So you have to rotate this one to lock the whole thing. Now it's secure and locked. And now it's double check. It's still in the right height. Now it's ready for us to put the sample into the chamber. And the vacuum is completely vented, and it's ready for us to open the chamber. Gently open this rod, and then this is the sample stage. And insert this thing into here, then push it down. The sample is loaded. And then gently slide the sample into the chamber and apply a slightly force onto this door. And then you need to pump the vacuum down. What you need to do is switch this switch to the middle position, to the evac position. You can hear a click, and then and now we have to wait until the vacuum bar turns to blue. Then it's ready for us to apply for the high voltage and to get the SEM image. Okay. If you are not sure about anything, here is the S3000 manual. You can always check the operating instruction, sample loading, and other stuff, especially the sample stub and holder setup, as I showed you before, and the specimen height adjustment. The vacuum is green now, but it's still not ready. We need to wait until the green goes to blue. When it turns to blue, that means the vacuum is ready for high accelerating voltage. And here is the, it's a control panel. Here, this one is for changing the magnification of the image. And that's for to adjust the contrast, adjust the brightness, and to focus the image. And for astigmator, this is for X and Y, to eliminate the astigmatism. And this is actually for shift the image, X and Y direction. And now the vacuum bar turns to blue, and immediately you see this one, HV, is there. Before there wasn't. Now it means you can apply for the high acceleration voltage just by click this one, just by click HV. Yeah, now the high voltage is applied. Immediately you see something appeared in the monitor. And now we need to find the sample, the interesting area we'd like to see. And at the moment, the contrast is too big. I just turn the contrast bit down. And this is down as well. And to get the good SEM image, we need to get the working distance smaller. We have to, sorry, need to go here. We have to change that to around 5-6 millimeter. And be careful, for that, there are two scales. One, this one, 3 inch. This is for the big sample holder. This 1526. This scale is for the smaller sample holder. You need to be aware which sample holder you have used and which scale bar you need to read. So for us, we need to read this one. And at the moment, I'd like to turn the working distance to be around 6. And now I find the device I'm interested in. And, but it's at the corner. I need to move the sample, move the device into the middle of the observation field. Now I need to gently move X and Y. I'll see which one I can get it. This is Y, and this is X. You see, I'm just moving it to. And if you like to turn the device, rotate it a bit in a right position, I just rotate. This is a rotation. Another, yeah, I just rotate it to a perpendicular position. Yeah, Y, and bring it down, and again. Yeah, for good image, we actually need to get a stable. First, we need to get a stable emission current because this gun is a thermionic tungsten filament. And to do that, you need to double-click this black. Double-click there. Then you go to HV control. Here, you go to the filament. And here, you go to emission level. And we try to slide in the filament a bit to see if you can change the emission current to make sure the emission is actually at the saturation point. Yeah, I think here is a saturation point when roughly. You can't run the filament at the oversaturation point. That would shorten the lifetime of the filament. Roughly, when you do this, this is more or less stable. You see, when I change it, this is not very. You see, when I change it, 1 bar, it's 2 bar. Should be like that. You count over to 100. If it's 100, it's too much. 95. Normally, it's around 80. Should be at 80 roughly should be the. And we can change the acceleration voltage as well. here is got the list for the acceleration voltage. If I like to do the imaging at 10 kV, I just select 10 kV. And at this moment, I think it's more obvious for the emission. You see, when I change the filament, the emission level is almost stable. It means, you see, it means here should be at 78 should be the one. Even when I increase it, the emission current change. So that means it's reach the saturation point. So you know when it reaches and then sliding it slightly back, but keep the emission level the same. Yeah, that means it's just saturated. And to get a good image, you need to change the contrast, brightness, and you also need to get the system aligned very well. So go to operation alignment. Yeah, this is the first is aperture alignment. For aperture alignment, this is sorry, I need to get it down a bit. For aperture alignment, so you can see the wobbler of the image. Actually, the alignment is very good. I've done that before, so you can't see the wobbler. It should be an image. You can't see that. So that means it's very good at the moment, objective aperture alignment. If maybe I just change this a bit, then people can see. Yeah. Now you can see the image shaking quite a bit. That means the objective aperture isn't aligned properly. Now you need to physically to align it until the movement as minimum as possible. Yeah, now you can't see the movement very much. That means the objective aperture is aligned properly. Then go to gun shift. For gun shift alignment, you need to adjust the X and the Y here to get the maximum brightness. It's probably here, roughly, no big difference. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, roughly around here. That's you can see it's down lower, then it's lower again. Should be at some point between the two lower, so roughly around here. And the same for gun tilt to get the maximum brightness for the that's the and go to this is to adjust the astigmator of X and the astigmator of Y. It's no movement. No movement. That means it's aligned quite well. If it's not aligned, then you should see the movement of the image. It's quite good. Now we've done the aperture alignment, gun tilt, gun shift, and the astigmator alignment. Once the alignment is done, you almost be able to get a good image. But for the good image, you also need to eliminate the astigmatism. When the astigmatism is big, when you do the focus, at the moment it's good. I just go back to the bad astigmatism. When you go to focus, you can see when you focus and over focus, you can see the image stripes. It can't see very well here. I just go get it very bad. No, we can't see very much of the. Yeah, if you can't see that, just get the edge as sharp as possible by adjust the astigmator X and Y to get the edge as sharp as possible. This is probably all right now. And if you are interested in this area, and you can capture the image. For image capture, there are 3 options. The first is just the normal capture. The second is a high resolution capture. And the third one is integration capture. Depends on what your sample is and what kind of image you would like to get. You can select these 3 options. First, let's do the normal capture. Yeah, that's the image. If you want to save this image, just go to File and save image as. Then you save wherever you'd like to save the image. Give the file name. For example, I like to go to my folder. Yeah, this is me open. And then I do say this is a text 1. Yeah, and then save. This is the image capture and save. Yeah, you can do high resolution capture as well. Let me show you you can see the difference. For high quality image capture, it takes a longer time. And this is good for the conductive sample. If your sample is non-conductive, it's got a lot of discharging, and this high resolution wouldn't help because this takes too long. Yeah, now we can save this high resolution image. Say it's a high resolution test. This is just the TV mode. It's quicker, so you can see when you move the sample, you can immediately get the movement. And this is a slow scan. You get a high quality image. And this is the slow scan, but with a slightly quicker scan speed. Yeah, it depends on what you like to see, and you can use all these kind of scan speed. here on the image bar, here it tell you this is the secondary electron image. And the working distance is 5.4 millimeter. And the accelerating voltage is 10 kV. And the magnification is 6.0 K. And here, 5 micron, that means the scale bar from the first point up to the last point. This is 5 micron. And based on this scale bar, you can measure the distance of your interesting area. Click here. Just click here and go to the main desktop. You will find this SSH secure file transfer. Double click it and quick connect. Connect to tank 3 and go to your account. I just go to my account, connect, then password. And now it's connected. And need to find my computer. For all the images, it's saved. All images saved in disk D. Double click disk D, go to users. Yeah, I just go to my account. Yeah, now the image we've saved is, for example, it's a high resolution test image. I'd like to transfer this one. I just click it and drag it into the folder on the tank 3. Now it's saved. And you can transfer the file from tank 3 to your own computer. Yeah. Then close it. Yeah. And then go back to the SEM software. Yeah. And if you click this one, you can frozen the image. Yeah, the image is frozen. And if you want to scan it again, just click it again. I forgot that button. If you have finished all your imaging, we just first need to switch the high acceleration voltage off. Just click it. Then it turns off. And we'd like to unload our sample. First, probably need to switch on the light. Then we need to go to the exchange position. First, for Y, it needs to be 20. It's not far away from 20 at the moment. Now we just go to 20, yeah. And for X, it needs to be 30. And I just, yeah, now it's 30. And for the Z, it needs to be to the exchange position. Yeah, it just go to, you see the exchange align. And for tilting, because I didn't tilt my sample, so it's still in the 0 angle. Now this is ready to be opened. And again, for unloading the sample, we need to vent the system. Again, to push the button up to air position. And again, the vacuum turns to red, and we need to, until the whole red bar disappeared. That means the vacuum is fully vented, and we can open it and unload our sample. Now the whole red bar disappeared. That means the chamber is fully vented. Now gently open, sliding out this stage, and gently get it up, and then get the sample and put this back to the sample stubs because it's too big to put it in, and you need to disassemble it, yeah, and then put it in. And gently sliding the stage in and hold it gently, and then push the button back to the middle position, to the evac position, and still hold the, need to hold the door, and here, here's the click. That means the chamber is pumping down now. Once the chamber is pumping down, you can close the software just by click here. Yeah. So that's all for S3000. This is the S4700. I'm going to show you how to load and unload sample and to get the SEM image and capture the image. And the main difference for load, unload sample is here we got the load lock chamber. And for S3000, we didn't have a load lock chamber. This is for load lock, it actually can keep the vacuum of the main chamber very high and keep the load unload sample quicker. This is an EDX detector. It can tells you the chemical species on your sample. And that's the gun. And this gun is a cold emission gun. So it needs to be working in the ultra high vacuum. Here, that's the aperture. You don't need never adjust those apart from the technical stuff. And here, this is the switch for open the valve between the load lock and the main chamber. This need to be opened when you load your sample in and closed when you are going to operate the system. Oh. Okay. Now, the software for S4700 is always on. Before loading sample, you need to make sure this go home button need to be in green. If it's not in green, you just click go home. Until it turns green, then you can load the sample or unload the sample. And now it's ready, so we can load the sample. First, we need to vent the chamber of load lock. Make sure this is in the position of SEC, sample exchange position, and press L. We got a drawer for the holders and the stubs, and several kind of holders for the small sample, for the larger samples. And if you want to observe the cross-section of your profile, you need this. And today we are going to use the big one. And you can either use the carbon tape or use the clamp to hold your sample. I'm going to use the clamps to hold my sample. So sticky. Yeah. Sorry, this height is always right. So check the height of the screw. It's not higher than that. It's already at the minimum. This one. Yeah. Yeah, the height of the screw need to be roughly around this level. Yeah, it is. So that means the height is all right. And now the load block is completely vented. Then gently open this door and hold this one and push this rod. And then you can screw your stage onto the rod. Gently screw it. And once the rod is fully in, it needs only finger tight. It's not necessarily to apply for strong force. Yeah, then slide it back into the back position. You can hear the click. And close the door and to pump. To press this button to pump the load lock. And now we need to check the vacuum. Here, it's in the air position. It needs to be up to higher. Then it's ready for us to open this valve and to slide the sample into the main vacuum. You see it's from air to low and wait until it's up to high position. Now it's ready. It's in high position. Now open this valve. Yeah, open it. Then this valve connect the load lock and the main chamber is opened. Now gently push this rod in. You can't see actually. Gently slide the sample into the main chamber. Slide in and then unscrew this rod. And slide it back to the position. You can hear the click when it's in its position. And remember to close this valve. Now your sample is in the high vacuum main chamber. Now it's ready to play the SEM image. Before that, we need to turn the gun into open position. At the moment, it's at the closed position. Turn this on. And it's ready to apply for the high voltage. The sample in, you need to check the stage control sample size, because we use a 3-inch holder, so we need to go to set, then select the 3-inch, yeah, and the height is standard, then click OK. And now click the high acceleration voltage. Click it. And now you go to the warnings. It says sample size 3-inch and the sample height is standard. This is just what we set, so we can go ahead. If it's not, then you have to cancel this one and go back to sample size set. So go ahead, then high voltage is on. Yeah. And the stage control is manipulated is this ball. You can go X and Y by playing this ball. Yeah. And I'm just going to find my sample. Now find the interesting area. And you can actually to rotate into a perpendicular position. Need to rotate to, say, 60 degrees. Not enough. Maybe 70. One. No. Sorry. Why I can't go 70? Why? Yeah, that should be fine. And then go high magnification. You can, at the moment we are at the low magnification mode, and it's not high enough for us to see. So we go to click this one, go to high magnification mode. Yeah, and focus. And for focus, there's two things. This is a close focus and fine focus, close focus, and fine focus. Yeah. And change magnification just to use this magnification, yeah, to get it even larger magnification. Yeah. And the contrast is not right at the moment. We just simply to press this automatic brightness and contrast change. Press it, and it automatically adjusts the contrast brightness and focus. And now we can, to get a better image, we have to do alignment. So here, this one is column alignment. Just click this one, and then we start from beam align. Click it. Now you see the image here, and to use X and Y, you see this is for astigmator and for alignment. So we use this tool button to adjust until the image is in the right middle. Yeah. And then go to next one. It's aperture alignment. For aperture alignment, now you can see the movement of the image. And again, use this X and Y to adjust until the movement, image movement, as minimum as possible. Yeah. And the next one is astigmator alignment. It's very good. If again, you need to, if there is a movement, then you need to, you see that's a movement, you need to adjust the X and Y, again, alignment here, to make the movement as minimum as possible. And again, go to Y, and it is a very good alignment. So now turn the alignment off and close it. Now the system is well aligned, so we should be able to get a good image. But the last thing is you need to make sure the astigmatism is minimum as possible. Again, to adjust this astigmator X and Y to get the clear image. Yeah. When astigmator is smaller or eliminated, when you change focus, it's just getting from blur to clear rather than the image got the strip kind of thing. Yeah, that's the astigmatism is eliminated, so we can get a good image now. And if you want to shift the interesting area into the middle of the field, because the magnification is so high at the moment, so mechanically changing the position wouldn't help. Now it's better to use the image shift here to electronically change the position of the beam. And for scan speed, here this is the fast scan, this is the slow scan. And this slow scan got even slower. I can't see, yeah, even slower speed. And this one is for reduce the area. And it's quite helpful if you try to adjust the astigmator, and it's quicker to use this reduce the window. And go back to the normal speed, you just click this one. Yeah. And to capture image, go to, just press here, sorry. Just press capture. Yeah, the image is captured. At here, if you want to save this image, then click this one, and it will ask you where you are going to save the image. I'm just going to save it into my folder, so it's under D, image, and I'll go to my folder. 419, yeah. And I'll give a file name, say test1, and then click here off, click save option. There are 3 options. One is off, that means you just save the image you just captured. And if you click here all save, that means all captured image will be saved. And here I just save the image I've just captured. So I gave a name test1, and then click save. Yeah, that image is saved. And once the capture image is all captured, you can click here, all clear. Then, are you sure to delete all image? Yes, you just click here. So the capture thing is all cleared. So this is that means your captured image is temporarily use the memory and close this one. Yeah. Now, once we finish the SEM image, then we need to first to switch off the high voltage. Just click off. Then click here, stage control, click go home. And wait until this bar turns green. That means we can unload the sample now. And to unload it, first we need to get the sample into the load lock chamber. Turn the gun to close position. And then open this valve and gently slide in this rod and screw the stage onto this rod. And gently sliding off. And when you hear the click, that means the rod is in secure position. And then close this valve. Now ready to vent this load lock. Just press air. Now it's open, and then open this one, and gently press and unscrew the stage from the rod. And slide it back to the secure position. You can hear the click. And close the door. Gently hold it. And then press this vac. Now the load lock is pumping down. Yeah. Then unload the sample from the stage. Unscrew the clamp and get it out. And put this holder back into the holder drawer.